By the time you're 80, you may have lost up to 50% of your muscle mass. And this isn't just about strength, it's about survival. Each year, over 300,000 seniors are hospitalized due to falls caused by weak muscles, falls that break bones, crush confidence, and steal independence. Scientists call this silent but devastating process sarcopenia, a natural muscle loss associated with aging. But natural doesn't mean inevitable. In fact, groundbreaking research from the Journal of Physiology reveals something extraordinary. Some seniors in their 70s have the muscle strength, appearance, and agility of people decades younger. What makes them different? They don't take their strength for granted, they build it back. And they follow habits that you probably never hear about in regular checkups. Today, we'll explore 7 habits, all backed by research, that can help you maintain, or even regain, muscle mass well into your 80s. Ready to discover what truly separates the strong from the struggling? Let's begin. What if we told you that some seniors in their 70s can run, hike, and lift weights better than many 40-year-olds? It sounds impossible, but it's real. Research from Harvard Medical School and Mayo Clinic confirms your muscles can be restored, even after 70. And not just your muscles, your balance, your energy, and even your reaction time can improve. The key lies in specific, proven habits, not luck or expensive treatments. In this video, seniors, 7 daily habits to stay strong, independent, and fall free after 70. Senior Health and you'll discover what these exceptional seniors do differently every single day. Forget myths like you're too old to get stronger or exercise is risky after 70. The latest science proves otherwise. With the right habits, aging doesn't have to mean decline. In fact, it could be your strongest chapter yet. Let's begin with the first habit that separates strong, mobile seniors from those who struggle with everyday movements. Protein timing. Everyone talks about eating more protein. But here's the truth. It's not just about how much protein you eat. It's about when you eat it. As we age, our bodies become resistant to protein's muscle-building effects. This is called anabolic resistance. Think of it like this. When you're young, your body acts like a sponge, quickly absorbing protein and turning it into muscle. But after age 60, that sponge dries out. It becomes harder for your muscles to respond, even if you're eating enough protein. Many seniors unknowingly make this worse. They skip breakfast or eat only toast. Then they have a small lunch, and finally, a large protein-heavy dinner. But here's what science says. Your body can only process so much protein at once. That giant dinner? Most of the protein gets wasted. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that when seniors spread their protein intake evenly throughout the day, muscle protein synthesis increased by up to 25%, compared to those who ate most of their protein at dinner. That means you could be eating the same amount of protein, but using it far more effectively, just by changing the timing. So how do you do it? Start your morning right, instead of skipping breakfast or relying on sugar and carbs. Choose protein-rich options like 2 eggs with sautéed spinach, a bowl of Greek yogurt with nuts and berries, a protein smoothie with almond milk and banana. At lunch, go for grilled chicken with quinoa and vegetables, tuna salad on whole grain toast, lentil soup with cottage cheese on the side. And yes, keep eating protein at dinner, but don't let that be your only protein source. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal, especially if you're over 65. Your body needs consistent signals to maintain and build muscle, not just one big push at night. The benefit isn't just more muscle. Better protein timing helps you improve balance and coordination, reduce your risk of falls, recover faster from daily activity, maintain energy throughout the day, stay independent longer. And the best part? It's easy. No expensive programs. No supplements. No gym memberships, just rethinking when you eat what you already eat. In studies of superagers, seniors who maintain the strength and mobility of people decades younger, even protein distribution was one of the most consistent habits they shared. They didn't eat more protein than others. They just spread it out, 3 times a day. And they did it every day. Small adjustment. Big result. There's one essential vitamin that most seniors are deficient in, yet it directly impacts strength, balance, and mobility. It's called vitamin D, and it's often overlooked. Vitamin D isn't just for bone health. It also plays a critical role in muscle function by activating the genes that build and repair muscle tissue. Researchers at Harvard University found that older adults with sufficient vitamin D levels had up to 25% more muscle strength than those who were deficient, and that's not all. These individuals also showed better coordination, quicker reaction times, and fewer falls. In other words, vitamin D helps your body stay stable and responsive. Unfortunately, more than 80% of seniors are deficient in vitamin D, and most don't even know it. So why does this deficiency happen? First, the skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight declines with age. By the time you're 65, your skin produces 50% less vitamin D than it did at age 20, even with the same sun exposure. Second, many seniors spend less time outdoors. And even if you're outside, wearing sunscreen or long sleeves can block UV rays from triggering vitamin D production. Third, very few foods naturally contain vitamin D, and even the fortified foods often don't provide enough to meet your daily needs. So what can you do? Experts recommend checking your vitamin D levels with a simple blood test. The goal is to maintain at least 40 nanograms per milliliter, ml, for optimal muscle support. Deficiency is defined as anything below 20 nanograms per milliliter, a level linked to higher risk of muscle weakness, imbalance, and falls. To reach and maintain optimal levels, most seniors need 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D per day, much more than the outdated general recommendation of 600 IU. Sunlight can help, but it's not enough. If you're over 65, supplementation is often necessary, especially in winter or for people with darker skin tones. When choosing a supplement, look for vitamin D3, the more active and bioavailable form. And don't forget its partner, vitamin K2. While vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, vitamin K2 directs that calcium to your bones, rather than your arteries. Without K2, high doses of vitamin D may contribute to arterial calcification, a hidden danger. Foods rich in K2 include fermented options like natto, aged cheeses, and specific animal products like liver or egg yolks. Some high-quality supplements now combine D3 and K2 in one capsule, designed for senior health. The bottom line? Vitamin D is more than just a sunshine vitamin. It's a muscle-preserving, balance-enhancing, fall-preventing powerhouse, and it's one of the simplest, most affordable interventions you can add to your routine today. Ask your doctor for a test, then act on the results, and stay strong from the inside out. What if your muscles weren't just shrinking, but being quietly destroyed every day? That's exactly what's happening in millions of seniors. And the culprit is a silent, chronic process called inflammaging. Inflammaging is a low-level, persistent inflammation that increases with age. You might not feel sick, but your body is constantly fighting internal stress, and one of the first victims, your muscle tissue. Studies from Tufts University found that high levels of inflammation accelerate muscle protein breakdown and block your body's ability to rebuild it. That means even if you're eating well and moving daily, chronic inflammation can make it feel like you're pushing uphill. with no results. So how can you fight back? Let's look at 4 habits of seniors who maintain strong, stable bodies well into their 80s. They don't eliminate inflammation entirely, but they keep it under control. 1. Prioritize sleep. Inflammation rises when sleep quality drops. One night of poor sleep can increase inflammatory markers by up to 40%. Superagers consistently go to bed and wake up at the same time daily. They sleep in dark, quiet rooms. They avoid screens 1 hour before bed and keep caffeine limited after 2 p.m. These small adjustments help the body regulate cytokines, proteins involved in inflammation, and reduce overnight muscle breakdown. 2. Protect your gut. Your gut and your muscles are more connected than you think. An unhealthy gut microbiome can trigger systemic inflammation that impacts your strength and balance. Superagers eat at least 30 different plant foods per week, a wide variety of fruits, vegetables, herbs, and whole grains. They also consume fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut to maintain healthy gut bacteria. These habits reduce intestinal inflammation and promote better nutrient absorption, especially for vitamins and minerals critical to muscle function. 3. Exercise moderately and wisely. While movement is essential, overexercising or sudden intense workouts can increase inflammation, especially in seniors. Superagers stay active daily but avoid extremes. They use moderate intensity exercises like walking, swimming, or light resistance work, often for 20 to 40 minutes per day, once or twice a week. They add short bursts of intensity like uphill walking or brief strength intervals, but they prioritize recovery just as much as movement. The result? Stronger muscles with less wear and tear. 4. Eat anti-inflammatory nutrients daily. Some nutrients directly combat inflammation. Superagers include them in their daily diet, consistently. Key nutrients include omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish, chia seeds, or supplements, curcumin from turmeric, often with black pepper for better absorption, polyphenol from berries, green tea, and extra virgin olive oil. These compounds work at the cellular level to protect your muscles from inflammatory damage and support recovery after activity. The big idea here? Inflammation isn't always obvious. But over time, it quietly chips away at your strength. The good news? You can take control. Start with just one habit, maybe better sleep, or adding berries to breakfast. Layer in more habits over time. In the end, your muscles will thank you by staying strong, coordinated, and capable. Most people think muscle health is all about protein, but without certain micronutrients, your body simply can't use that protein effectively. These are vitamins and minerals, small, but mighty. They don't build muscle directly. Instead, they activate, regulate, and support the systems that allow your body to build and maintain muscle tissue. Let's look at the 4 most important ones for seniors. 1. Magnesium, the forgotten electrolyte. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, many of which are critical to muscle function, nerve transmission, and recovery. Unfortunately, over 70% of older adults are magnesium deficient, often without knowing it. Symptoms can include muscle cramps, fatigue, and even poor sleep, things many seniors chalk up to just getting older. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors with optimal magnesium levels had 30% stronger grip strength and better physical performance than those with deficiencies. Best sources: leafy greens, spinach, kale, nuts, seeds, legumes, and dark chocolate. Supplement form: magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate, highly bioavailable and easier on digestion. 2. Vitamin B12, the silent supporter. vitamin B12 is essential for energy production and nerve muscle communication, but as we age, stomach acid declines, making it harder to absorb B12 from food. Worse yet, common medications like proton pump inhibitors, PPIs, and metformin deplete B12 even further. Low B12 levels can lead to muscle weakness, coordination issues, and slower recovery from injury. For best absorption, use methylated B12, methylcobalamin, not the cheaper cyanocobalamin found in many standard multivitamins. Foods rich in B12, eggs, meat, fish, and dairy. 3. Creatine. Not just for bodybuilders, creatine is often associated with young gym-goers, but studies show it's incredibly effective for older adults too. Creatine helps muscles store energy, recover faster, and respond better to resistance training. It also supports cognitive function, especially during aging. A meta-analysis from McMaster University showed that older adults who took 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day gained more strength and muscle mass, even without major changes in their workout routine. You don't need loading phases. Just one daily scoop, taken with food, is enough. Look for creatine monohydrate, the most studied and safest form. 4. Zinc, selenium, and chromium, the trace mineral trio. These 3 minerals often fly under the radar, but they are crucial for protein synthesis, insulin sensitivity, and muscle repair. Zinc supports tissue healing and testosterone balance. Selenium acts as an antioxidant that protects muscle cells. Chromium helps your cells absorb fuel from food more efficiently. A 5-year study at Tufts University found that seniors with optimal levels of these minerals preserve 22% more muscle mass than those with low levels. Food sources: zinc, oysters, pumpkin seeds, beef, selenium, Brazil nuts, eggs, whole grains, chromium, broccoli, grapes, and whole grains. If using supplements, don't exceed recommended doses. More isn't always better. Bringing it all together, these micronutrients don't make headlines. They don't trend on social media. But without them, your muscles can't function at their full potential. Think of them as the spark plugs in your engine. You won't move far without them. You don't need to take dozens of pills. Just focus on a nutrient-dense diet, add 1 to 2 targeted supplements as needed, and monitor your levels with your doctor. Micronutrients are quiet, but they're powerful, and they might be the missing link in your muscle maintenance plan. You've heard the phrase use it or lose it. But when it comes to aging muscles, it's not just about the muscles themselves, it's about their connection to your brain. That connection is called the neuromuscular junction, the point where your nervous system sends signals to your muscles to contract, balance, and move. After age 60, these connections begin to deteriorate rapidly, and when they do, you don't just lose strength, you lose coordination, balance, and control. Research from the University of Michigan shows that weakened neuromuscular communication contributes more to fall risk than even low muscle mass. So how do we preserve this vital brain-to-muscle link? Let's look at 3 powerful strategies used by super-eggers to train their nervous systems, not just their muscles. 1. Coordination-based movement. Regular strength training is important, but it's not enough. Your nervous system needs variety and challenge. That's why super-eggers practice activities that require coordination, timing, and precision. This includes Tai Chi, dancing, table tennis, martial arts forms, even drumming or rhythm-based movement classes. These activities force your brain to communicate rapidly with your muscles, building new neural pathways and maintaining old ones. A 2020 study found that seniors who practice coordination-intensive exercises just twice a week preserved 31% more neuromuscular connectivity than those who didn't. 2. Intentional skill practice. You don't have to be an athlete, but you do need to focus intentionally on how you move. Simple exercises done with precision, like walking heel to toe, balancing on one foot, or stepping over small obstacles, can reactivate dormant neural circuits. What matters is not intensity, but mindfulness. Supereggers often describe moving deliberately. They pay attention to posture, foot placement, and even breathing. Just 10 minutes a day of intentional movement can preserve mobility for decades. 3. Nutrients that support neuromuscular health. Certain nutrients protect and even enhance the brain-muscle interface. Alpha-lipoic acid, ALA, helps reduce oxidative damage to nerve cells. Acetyl-L-carnitine, ALCAR, supports energy production in neurons. Vitamin B1, in forms like benfotiamine, supports nerve signaling. Huperzine A, derived from Chinese club moss, helps preserve acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that tells muscles to contract. In combination with movement, these compounds can help slow or reverse neuromuscular decline. Consult your doctor before using them, but don't overlook them. Final thoughts. Muscle is nothing without control. You could have strong legs, but if your brain can't activate them, strength becomes useless. That's why supereggers train their brains with movement, not just memory games. The result? They walk with confidence. They react quickly to obstacles. They stay sharp, inside and out. Keep your neural highways open, because mobility doesn't start in the legs. It starts in the mind. Not all stress is bad. In fact, some stress can actually make you stronger, sharper, and more resilient, if it's delivered in the right way, at the right dose. This concept is known as hormesis, and it's how the body adapts to brief, controlled stressors by becoming tougher in the long run. Supereggers know this. They don't avoid stress completely. They harness it strategically. Let's look at the top 3 hormetic stressors that keep seniors biologically young. 1. Temperature variation, hot and cold exposure. Exposing your body to short bursts of heat or cold can activate survival pathways that protect your muscles, brain, and metabolism. Cold showers, 30 to 60 seconds, at the end of a warm shower. Brief cold plunges or walking in cool air with light clothing. Regular sauna use, ideally 4 to 7 times per week. Studies from Finland found that seniors who used saunas regularly had 40% less muscle loss, better cardiovascular function, and improved stress resilience. Mechanism: heat and cold activate proteins like heat shock proteins, HSPs, and brown fat thermogenesis, which protect cells and improve energy efficiency. 2. Intermittent fasting, strategic meal timing. Fasting isn't about starving. It's about resting the metabolic system and triggering beneficial repair processes like autophagy, which cleans out damaged cells. Supereggers often follow time-restricted eating, consuming all meals within an 8 to 10 hour window each day. This gentle form of fasting has been shown to improve muscle mitochondrial function, enhance insulin sensitivity, support healthy weight and inflammation control, even without changing what you eat. Simply changing when you eat can improve muscle efficiency and cellular resilience. 3. Brief intense effort, isometric holds and short bursts. Supereggers don't need to do long workouts, but they do include short, high-effort challenges for their muscles. This includes pushing against a wall for 10 seconds at full effort, holding a heavy object for 20 seconds, climbing stairs quickly or doing a short uphill walk. These transient muscular contractions trigger growth signals without stressing joints. The key is intensity and recovery, not volume. short stress long. Benefit: putting it all together, hormetic stress works like a vaccine. It introduces a little challenge, so your body learns to respond better next time. But like a vaccine, the dose matters. Too much equals damage, too little equals no benefit. Start small. Try a 30-second cold rinse. Wait 12 hours between dinner and breakfast. Hold a plank for 10 seconds, and gradually build your tolerance. This isn't about pushing hard, it's about activating longevity genes. Supereggers do it often, and consistently, because the right stress doesn't wear you out, it wakes you up. If there's one habit that makes the biggest difference in maintaining strength, mobility, and independence after 70, it's this: progressive resistance training. This isn't about bodybuilding, it's about fighting muscle loss, the most dangerous part of aging that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. Starting in your 50s, most people lose about 1 to 2% of muscle mass per year if they don't actively maintain it. By age 80, that could mean losing up to 50% of your muscle, unless you train. But here's the truth: muscle doesn't disappear because of age, it disappears because of disuse. Supereggers don't just move more, they train with intention, and with a method: progressive overload. What is progressive overload? It's the process of gradually increasing the difficulty of your workouts so your muscles keep adapting. If you always lift the same weight, walk the same path, or do the same number of repetitions, your muscles stop responding. They adapt, plateau, and begin to decline. Progressive overload means increasing resistance, more weight or tension, increasing reps or duration, reducing rest time, changing tempo or range of motion. Supereggers use these variables to push their muscles just a bit more each week. How they train: they don't spend hours in a gym. Instead, they focus on quality, compound movements that use multiple muscle groups at once, such as squats, or sit to stand from a chair, step-ups, push-ups, wall, countertop, or floor, rows, with bands or light dumbbells. Most train 2 to 3 times per week, 30 to 40 minutes per session. They focus on control, form, and breath, not just speed or weight, and importantly, they track their progress, representative sets. Weight. Effort level: it's not random, it's a system. Muscle failure equals growth signal. The key to progress is pushing until you can't do another repetition with good form. This is called transient muscle failure, and it's not dangerous when done safely. It tells your body, we need more muscle here. This triggers muscle protein synthesis that can last up to 48 to 72 hours after a workout. In one 12-week study, seniors who trained to near failure gained 35% more strength and 3.3 pounds of muscle, with no other changes to their lifestyle. Eccentric focus: lowering build strength. Supereggers often emphasize the eccentric, lowering, phase of each exercise. Lowering slowly, e.g., taking 3 to 5 seconds to sit down or lower a push-up, builds more strength with less joint stress. It's a safer and more sustainable way to train, especially for older joints. Final note: progressive resistance training is not dangerous. Neglecting it is. With proper form and gradual progression, it's one of the most powerful anti-aging tools ever studied. It improves muscle strength and size, balance and fall prevention, bone density, insulin sensitivity, mental clarity and confidence. Supereggers don't train to impress anyone, they train to stay independent. Because when you can lift yourself, carry your groceries, and walk stairs without fear, you don't just live longer, you live better. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You now know what most people don't: that muscle loss isn't inevitable, that aging doesn't have to mean weakness, that independence can be preserved, at any age. Let's quickly review the 7 daily habits that keep super eggers strong, mobile, and full of life. 1. Protein timing. Don't save all your protein for dinner. Spread 25-30 g across each meal to fight anabolic resistance and fuel daily repair. 2. Vitamin D optimization. Check your levels. Supplement if needed. Vitamin D builds muscle as well as it builds bone. 3. Anti-inflammatory routine. Sleep well. Eat plants. Move wisely. Keep chronic inflammation from silently tearing down your strength. 4. Micronutrient power. Magnesium, B12, zinc, selenium, creatine, your muscle building support team. Don't ignore them. 5. Neuromuscular activation. Coordinate. Balance. Focus. Move with intention to keep brain-to-muscle connections firing strong. 6. Hormetic stress. Use stress the right way. Cold, heat, fasting, and brief challenges. They activate your body's resilience system. 7. Progressive resistance training. The single strongest anti-aging habit. Train smart, track progress, and build strength for life. These aren't trendy hacks, they're scientifically proven tools to help you stay upright, independent, and full of energy, into your 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. You don't have to do all 7 at once. Start with 1, build the habit, then add another. Let your progress compound, like interest in a long-term health account. And remember, you're not doing this to impress anyone. You're doing this for your freedom, the freedom to carry groceries, the freedom to get up from a chair without fear, the freedom to walk confidently, anywhere, anytime. Strong muscles build strong lives, and it's never too late to start. If this video inspired you, like, comment, and subscribe to Senior Health and You for more content like this. Your future self will thank you.